my previous vlog episodes, you know my thoughts on bankroll management and also the goal that I previously had set. Since we took a break from the previous episode, I actually did some thinking and was like, there has to be a better way to show you guys my betting progress and also my entire journey. So, I still have a goal I want to reach by a certain date, but I'm going to start with a bankroll of $1,000 and I'm setting a goal of $20,000 by Super Bowl 55. Yes, that is a huge goal. It's a big challenge, but I'm down for it and I'm going to do it. Here are the ground rules. Again, bankroll of $1,000. I'm going to set a weekly budget of $300 a week. I can't go over that unless I'm like winning a lot of money and my bankroll is a lot like very big, then I can up my budget. But for now, I'm starting off with a $300 budget. I also have to be very transparent with you guys, meaning I'm going to track every single bet that I make and I'm going to show you guys my wins, my losses, everything. If I end up running out of that $1,000 bankroll, then game over, Lee. That sucks, okay? So I hope it doesn't come to that. So keep in mind, I am betting in large increments, and I know I'm saying I'm promoting bankroll management, but in order for me to reach my goal of 20K, that is a big challenge, so I'm gonna have to be more aggressive with my bets, which is why I have a $300. So I really advise you guys to promote your bankroll management, bet wisely, create a budget, set a goal, everything like that. And most importantly, do your research on the sports that you're betting on. That way you're not blindly betting. Know at least a little bit about what you're betting on. End of story. Again, the point of me doing this is to be as transparent as can be with you guys. I want you guys to see my wins, my losses, how bad or good I'm doing, everything. So, you can either bet along with me, trust me, and ride this roller coaster with me, or you can simply just sit back and watch me on my journey towards this 20K goal. So I'm gonna start off with what bets I had from over the weekend. I had NFL Week 7 and also my UFC 254 picks. But the first thing I'm gonna get into are my NFL picks. So I'm gonna start off with what NFL bets I had last week. And again, it was for NFL Week 7. So I started off with a 5-team, 6-point teaser. I had the Detroit Lions +8 -105, Titans +8 -110, Chargers -2 -110, Saints -1.5 -110, and 49ers +8.5 -110. For this bet, I risked $50 to win $200, and I'm super happy because this teaser covered and I gained $200. So cha-ching right there. The next thing I had, another teaser. Just because I find teasers to be highly entertaining and very fun, so I risked another $50 to win $200. I had the Lions +7.5 -110, Saints -1.5 -110, Bills -4 -115, Chargers -1.5 -110, and Chiefs -1 -110. This teaser also covered, so that's another $200, making me +400 so far, so cha-ching right there. Now you see why I love teasers. Let's move on to the next thing that I had. I actually created a dog parlay, and if you have me on Twitter, I call it my dog lay. But for this, I risked $10 to win $132. And they just needed to win. I had the Lions +115, Titans +110, and Bears +215. It's a very small bet with a good payout, but the Titans kind of ruined it for me, so I lost $10. It's just $10, so I'm not really upset about that. Just next week, we'll do better. The last thing I had for the NFL was Monday Night Football. I had 2 bets, and guess who I had? Yes, I had the Bears. I had the Bears +6 and also Bears moneyline +220. For each of these bets, I risked $55, so a total risk of $110. And yes, both of those bets did not cover, so I lost $110 from the Bears. Very, very sad, just because the Bears decided to play like they were made of Swiss cheese or something against the Rams, so there we have it. So just with the NFL, my total bankroll is now $1,280. And my updated NFL record is 19-17. And just to be clear, this record does include my top 5 NFL picks. This past weekend, I actually didn't bet all of them like how I usually do. I chose the one that I thought had the most value. And yes, I thought the Bears had the most value. let's get into my UFC bets that I had over the weekend. We had UFC 254 with Khabib and Gaethje. I'm not gonna get into that a lot, but let me just tell you, great fight card. Amazing. For that fight, I actually created a little parlay because a lot of the fighters that I liked were juiced up so much. So I had a 3-fighter parlay: Cannonier minus 120, Magomed Ankalaev at minus 310, and Khabib Nurmagomedov at minus 345. I risked $20 to win 42. Ankalaev and Khabib actually won their fights, but Jared Cannonier ruined it for me and lost against Robert Whittaker, so subtract the $20 from that. My new record for the UFC is now 36-34, 1 and 1 no contest. I started that, I believe, in May. So, after totaling everything together, my new bankroll is now $1,260. Overall, between the NFL and UFC, I risked a total of $220 in hopes of winning $745. I obviously did not win the full $745. I won $260 on the week, but honestly, I'm not that upset because that could have gone a lot worse than it did. So I'm taking that and I'm just gonna go to the next week and hope it's better. Since I have the budget of $300 and realized I didn't bet the full $300, I'm gonna bet the full $300 this upcoming week. That way we can hopefully have a bigger profit. Another thing I just very quickly want to point out to you guys, if I ever make any picks or bets or anything like that, and I'm not including it in this video because I make the picks after I record this, I will definitely post it on my Twitter page. So give me a follow at Lee Martin Sports if you always want to be updated with my bets. All right, let's jump into what I'm getting into for this weekend. I'm gonna start off with the NFL. Since I've been doing well on teasers, I need wood, hold on, knock on wood. That's metal, but it'll work. I want to create another teaser for week 8. So, I'm going to SBRodds.com, I'm gonna check out all the odds, compare and contrast them, see which ones have the best. So, I went to Bet Online and I ended up creating another 5-team 6-point teaser. I have Packers minus 1, Titans at a pick'em, Raiders plus 8.5, 49ers plus 9, and Steelers plus 9.5. For this teaser, I again then risked $50, but I'm gonna win, hopefully, $210 this time. Like I said earlier, I'm on this huge fad with teasers, so yes, you're right. I created another 5-team 6-point teaser. Except with this one, I'm only gonna risk $25 to win $105. I took the Packers minus 0.5, Raiders plus 8.5, Bears plus 10, 49ers plus 9, and Bucks minus 4.5. So far, I have a total risk of $75 for a possible profit of $310. The last thing I'm gonna get into with NFL would be my top 5 picks. All of you know my top 5 picks video. If you want to check out my breakdowns as to why I chose these picks, then just check out my video at SBR's YouTube page at SBR Sports. So the way I'm approaching my top 5 picks this week, I'm actually going to rank them from like most valued to least valued, or like 1 to 5. For my top pick, meaning my number 1 pick, I chose the Chargers minus 3, minus 120. I risked $50 to win $41.67. Second, I chose Pittsburgh plus 3.5, minus 101. I risked $40 to win $39.60. Third, I took San Francisco plus 3, minus 119. I risked $30 to win $25.21. Fourth, I took the Raiders plus 2.5, minus 105. I risked $20 to win $18.69. And finally, for the last pick, I took the Bengals plus 6, minus 119. I risked $20 to hopefully win $16.81. So between these 5 picks, I risked a total of $160 to win $141.98, making my total risk now at $235 for a possible return of $456.98. I now want to get into my UFC picks for the week. And since I'm still somewhat new to betting UFC, I always like to read articles or not feedback, but what other people think about certain fighters. So I always go to SBR Picks. You can go to sbrpicks.com/UFC if you want to go directly to the UFC page. But if you guys have seen my UFC show, then you definitely know who David Mannion is, and I really think he is the most knowledgeable person I know regarding the UFC. So I love reading his stuff. Sometimes I will fade him thinking I know better than Dave, then I'll lose. So that's why I think I need to start listening to Dave. So again, if you do want to check out Dave's stuff, his articles, everything, all of his content, you can give him a follow on Twitter, dmanny_, and again, check out his articles at sbrpicks.com/UFC. Getting into this weekend with the UFC, I created a 3-fight parlay again. This is just, again, based off of what I like. So I like Andre Fili at +122, Makhmud Muradov at +120, and Uriah Hall at -225. I'm risking $20 to win $121.09. So this will make my total risk at $255 for a possible return of $563.07. Keeping my bankroll management in mind, I'm remembering that I have a $300 budget on the week. So that means I have $45 to spare. Okay, so with the $45, I'm actually going to tail another SBR capper, because why not? And the capper that I chose is Alex Classic Tips. Alex is up 15 units in 6 weeks in soccer. I think that's amazing. So why wouldn't I want to tail him? So for this weekend, what I'm tailing Alex on, keep in mind for these bets, Alex is betting 1 unit per bet. But for me, I'm risking $22 each bet just to keep within my budget. So for the first thing, I'm gonna have Bundesliga. I'm gonna take Dortmund -1.5, -109. Again, I'm risking $22 to win $20.18. For the second pick, it's gonna be Serie A. Alex is taking Inter Milan to win in under 4.5 goals. First off, BetOnline did not have the under 4.5 goals, so I'm not betting the total. Second, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys about this, I made a big mistake. I placed the wrong bet. Instead of taking Inter Milan to win, I took the spread and took Inter Milan -1.5. So I am praying that they cover. So take Inter Milan to win. Okay, I'm gonna take the -1.5. You take Inter Milan to win. Okay, again, praying for this. I'm risking $22 to win $21.57. Learn from my mistakes, please. Pay attention to what you're betting. All right. So this will put my total risk on the week at $299 for a possible return of $604.82. Now, Alex is always posting his bets in his articles on his Twitter page, so I advise you to give Alex a follow at Alex Classic Tips, and again, his articles will be at sbrpicks.com/soccer. Whenever I get stuck on any sort of pick, or I don't know which way to go, I love to read these articles just to make sure that, or just to have some knowledge on, again, what I'm betting on. So I very advise you guys to read. It really helps with the bets. And again, pay attention to what button you are clicking on your sports book, because you can place a wrong bet like how I did. So I hope I win that bet. That's all I have for this week's episode. Be sure to come back next week to see where I'm at on my journey towards 20K. Also, give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. That way you're always notified for whenever we post a new episode. I wish you all the best of luck on all of your wagers this weekend, and I'll see you next week with episode 5.